On September 16, 1893, an extensive process of land occupation began in the region that now forms the state of Oklahoma. Between 20,000 and 25,000 people left the border town of Orlando in the Indian Territory, using horses, wagons, and trains to reach the place where Perry would emerge. By the end of the day, more than 40,000 newcomers, including former boomers, were already in the area. Ella Laru developed herself as a multi-skilled artist, showcasing singing, dancing, acting, and tightrope performances. She also played the banjo and cornet, took part in minstrel shows, and founded her own theater company, which she led for several years. Her performances were held in the Old West between 1866 and about 1890. The opposition was so noisy and resentful that he began to doubt if all the effort would be worth it. But then he remembered Guthrie, a city formed in just 6 hours. On April 22, 1889, during the hoss race decreed by President Benjamin Harrison, about 2 million acres of Indian Territory were made available for settlement. Since Val Kilmer made his film debut in 1984, portraying an Elvis Presley parody in the comedy Top Secret, he has performed in a wide variety of movies that have solidified his presence in Hollywood. Over the years, he appeared in productions such as Top Gun, The Doors, and Batman Forever, playing characters of different genres and building a remarkable trajectory in the film industry. A century ago, Montana was still considered one of the newest states in the United States. Its official inclusion in the Union took place in 1889, when its star was added to the nation's flag, 25 years after having been organized as a territory. This territorial formation dates back to 1864 and was the result of utilizing sparsely populated areas acquired in the Louisiana Purchase. In the Rocky Mountains of western Montana, I spot a buffalo that stands out against the rugged terrain. It moves calmly, revealing the silent strength of its robust frame. The sunlight highlights every contour of its coat, while the gentle breeze carries the scent of grass and rocky soil. Contemplate the family who christened the Martin Hotel in Winnemucca, Nevada, where Basque cuisine can still be experienced today. In the image, the owner of the building, Alfonso Pasquale, on the left, appears alongside A. Rene Martin, then 5 years old, and the dog Marco, together with parents Elise Henry and Augustine. They opened their headquarters for stockmen on Christmas Day of 1915. Like many Europeans of her time, Rosa Bonheur showed a great interest in the American West. One of the most significant moments of her life occurred in 1889, when she personally attended the Wild West show led by Buffalo Bill during its visit to Paris. William F. Cody, known as Buffalo Bill, is widely recognized as one of the main performers of the Old West spectacle. Historians point out that he likely would have appreciated the ongoing interest in the place where he was buried. After his death, his wife decided he would be interred at the top of Lookout Mountain west of Denver, thus ending his journey. Born on November 3, 1877 in Hillsboro, Texas, Laney Cathy was only 4 years old when the railroad began operating in the city. According to his relatives, he started his career working for the Missouri-Kansas-Texas Railroad, known as the Katy, and performed his duties both in Hillsboro and later in Denison. Seated from left to right are first Red Cloud, second Little Wound, third Yellow Bear, fourth Iron Crow, and fifth He Dog. Standing from left to right are possibly F.C. Boucher or another interpreter, followed by Little Big Man, then Big Road, next Young Man Afraid of His Horses, then Three Bears, and finally William Garnett, also known as Billy Hunter Interpreter. Wyatt Earp's trajectory encompasses a series of significant events, beginning with his birth and upbringing in Missouri, including his service as a lawman and involvement in confrontations that marked the history of the Old West, and culminating in the final episodes of his life in California, where his experiences reflected changes in his personal and professional activities. Ferdinand V. Hayden, a geologist and physician during the Civil War, is seated on the left and had extensive experience in expeditions throughout the western United States. In 1871, he was appointed to lead the investigation of the Yellowstone region, which the following year was officially recognized as the world's first national park. Scottsdale is widely recognized for its resorts and shopping establishments, but Old Town preserves historical aspects that hark back to the origins of the Old West. Founded in the 1880s, the area began as a farming community, with its first residents dedicated to food production and land maintenance. After leaving Bedford Falls, Jimmy Stewart changed his destination to Death Valley, a region spanning the states of Nevada and California. By choosing this location, he opted to face an environment that, though filled with challenges, allowed for autonomy and decision-making without reliance on supernatural protection. This was the first military incursion into the Black Hills, a region historically occupied by the Lakota people. The expedition led by Custer included not only soldiers, it was composed of a variety of participants, such as white and native scouts responsible for surveying and mapping the terrain, teamsters and scientists in charge of collecting information about the area. A panorama of Florence, Colorado, a city that during its industrial heyday stood out as the main hub of intense economic activities in the state. During that period, the city housed various industries that drove constant movement and shaped local social and economic life. In Western novels and films, it is often portrayed that for every crime committed by an outlaw in a town, an organized posse is formed to pursue him. However, historical analysis of the period shows that this practice was much less common in the real American West. Alexander Morrison Cassidy understood the economic potential of wastelands, though he was likely unaware of the challenges that lay ahead in the region. In the spring of 1862, as he claimed his first oil extraction area in Colorado, an invasion led by the Confederates into the territory, known for its gold reserves, was about to occur. Early explorers primarily used shotguns for hunting small game. During the Lewis and Clark expedition, members carried Model 1795 flintlock muskets, loaded with projectiles suitable for that purpose. At the same time, the French-Canadian boatmen working as private employees preferred the use of lighter-caliber fusees to hunt these animals. The method known as the spring pole, or driving a well, was an economical process used by most early prospectors. In this procedure, the team applied force to the stirrups and the gripping system to drive the drilling tools, which were suspended by a central rope. In this way, they could deepen the drilling gradually until reaching depths of several hundred feet. Edward Curtis's final adventure, according to records. Curtis was 59 years old when, during the production of a film, he injured his hip after a whale collided with his boat. Following the incident, he planned a trip to Alaska with his daughter Beth, marking the first time both would visit the region and representing an event that piqued his interest. In Kansas, Dodge City built a notorious reputation throughout the 19th century. Located on the frontier, the city developed as a meeting point for travelers, merchants, and people in search of new opportunities. During this period, frequent armed confrontations and saloon disputes became part of its routine, contributing to the city's fame for violence and the constant challenge to the law. On March 24, 1882, Wyatt Earp and his team ate breakfast in the area north of Contention, Arizona, at a place known as San Pedro. After the meal, the group headed south toward the Babacamari River to survey the area and identify possible hideouts used by criminals. Manny Hyman's saloon is the setting for Doc Holliday's last shootout. Leadville outshines Tombstone in the Arizona Territory by bringing together 120 saloons, 118 gaming halls, 110 beer gardens, and 35 brothels. On the sidewalk next to the clock, there is an electrical measuring device that recalls the beginning of electricity use in Leadville, which occurred in 1883.